Good morning, ladies. So, I wanted to come to you real quick today because this is something that's been on my heart for a few days. I asked in the group a few days ago if you struggle with perfectionism, if that's something that's a struggle for you, and I just wanted to discuss that a little bit today. So, if this is your first time seeing me do a video, my name is Howze. I am the founder of HowzeYourHealth.com. Hey Sunny, can you hear me all right? Thanks for joining. I'm the founder of HowzeYourHealth.com. I am a health coach and a grief mentor, and I work with women to get unstuck wherever they are in grief and in self-care. I really believe in self-care as something really important, and that we as women are really bad about neglecting. So that's my passion, is helping women to get unstuck, take really good care of themselves, and start healing. So awesome. Thanks, Sunny. Awesome. Okay, so what's really funny is the fact that I'm coming to y'all today to talk about perfectionism, and I have like zero notes. I just have what's in my brain, which is dangerous because if y'all know me, I squirrel a lot. I really need notes to keep me on track. Sorry, I am sure that you can hear the turkey because I came outside because if you've ever seen one of my videos, you know that there's going to be a cat or a dog or a chicken or somebody is going to interrupt the video. But I hopped outside. It's a little bit sunny today, but looks like there's still going to be more thunderstorms because this time of year in Florida, it's constant. It's just always something. But I wanted to hop outside and get a little bit of sunshine while I had the chance. So, good morning. Good morning, Gail. Thanks for joining me, ladies. I usually don't go early, go live this early, so it's kind of exciting, but I hear thunder rumbling in the distance. So I'm going to try and get her done while I have internet access, because if y'all also have seen before, like, I have a really hard time with having steady internet service and good signal and all that jazz. So, okay. First of all, I want to say I'm a completely recovered perfectionist just because of the fact that I am on video right now with, like, this braid has been in my hair since yesterday. I did not, whatever's on my face, if there's any makeup on my face, it's yesterday's makeup. For crying out loud. And the chickens have to pick fights with each other. I'll tell you a little bit of a story as far as my experience with, hey Stefania, thanks for joining, with perfectionism. And basically how I think it comes from, you know, hitting rock bottom when you really give up your perfectionist ways is pretty much the gist of what I'm getting at. But so I thought of a story. This story, it's so funny how you see something and it sticks with you for years. Years ago, I watched an episode of Oprah. I didn't even think, I could probably Google it or find it on YouTube if I were to search really hard for it. But years ago, I saw this episode of Oprah, and she was helping a woman who was a hoarder. And the gist of it is this woman was a perfectionist. And so at work, she looked perfect. Her clothes were always perfect. But at home, her house was completely disgusting. She never washed her clothes, and so what she would do is she would just go and buy new clothes to wear to work because her clothes were disgusting and piled up everywhere, and her dogs lived in her house, and they used the bathroom everywhere, and she was desperate. So Oprah's crew comes in, and they completely clean her house, and it looks amazing, right? Well, then they check back in with her. I forget how much time had passed. They check back in with her, and they're walking through her house. And it doesn't look terrible yet, but she's got some piles of clothes where she's like, yeah, she's still kind of putting off doing the laundry. And they walk in her bathroom, and the dogs have been using the bathroom in there. And she's like, well, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to cleaning up the little piles of poo. And it was that, like, that's something that has stuck with me of, like, that was my first aha moment, I guess, of understanding what perfectionism actually can be, because it means, like, not doing something unless you can do it perfectly. So she wasn't going to bother cleaning up the dog poo until she felt like she had the time and was ready to completely clean the bathroom spotless. So her brain couldn't connect, just pick up the poo. You know, as a step in the right direction. It was, if I can't do it all, I'm not going to do it all. And now there's an airplane flying over. because this is what I decided to do, is come outside. Okay, so that has stuck with me for all these years of like, okay, that like perfectionism is paralyzing. So when I look at things like every area of our life, I mean, you might be a perfectionist in every area of your life, or you might be a perfectionist only in one area of your life, and you may not realize that's what it is. So think about this. Like I mentioned this before. I think I've mentioned this before. So before my daughter died, I was working out 5 and 6 days a week, at least an hour a day. I had a goal that I was going to be like super buff before my 40th birthday. And like I was going to be like this model of this is what 40 looks like, you know, because I'm a health coach. But then it obviously, I could have cared less about any of that after she died, right? Like nothing matters at that point. Well, so trying to get back on the wagon of exercise, because again, my goals are no longer that I want six-pack abs, but my goals are that I want to have some energy and feel good. And I know that a certain amount of exercise is totally good for you. If you haven't watched, I have a video somewhere, dig deep in my videos about exercise and grief and how it can be beneficial. But that being said, there's times where it's like, okay, well, if I don't have an hour to work out, if I don't have 2 hours because I need a half an hour to drive to the gym, an hour to work out, an hour to get home, time to shower, so I'm just not going to work out at all. Instead of being like, duh, I mean, like, you know, I can do some squats and some push-ups every day. I can just drop and do it, right? We can do that. But this perfectionism stops you from doing it at all. Because if I can't do it what I consider perfectly, I'm not going to do it at all. Does that make sense? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? As I'm sitting here, yes, totally stressful. Like you just stress yourself out because you want to do it perfectly, and so you don't do it at all. Same thing with choosing to eat healthy. You know, like if you can't make, you know, 5 healthy meals a day, then you're like, forget it. I'm just not going to eat healthy at all. Or you ate 1 cupcake, so you're like, forget it. I'll just ruin the rest of my day, the rest of my week, because I ate 1 cupcake. Right? Just this perfectionism, this expecting ourselves to be perfect. Sorry, this thing is getting heavy, and my hair is falling out of my braid because it's not perfect, and because I mean I really didn't mean to come on here and be like, let me show you how not perfect I am so that you won't be perfect too. That is not actually what I meant to do, but I feel like it's actually being it's pretty legit. So here's another thing. I feel like oftentimes you may or may not see my videos and think that I have it all figured out, that I have gone through a process and come out the other end and I'm all better and I'm perfect. Self-sabotage. Yes, Tara. Thank you. Yes, exactly. We totally sabotage ourselves. Oh, my word. That is the truth. And it's almost like we make excuses, you know, like that's our, like, I don't know, it's our way out of being, of trying to not have the responsibility to do what we need to do to take care of ourselves, right? So this goes hand in hand too with grieving and healing, and just being like, well, I can't feel completely better, so I'm not even going to bother trying to feel a little bit better. Does that make sense too? So I feel like I don't know, I'm just getting this vibe that sometimes it feels like maybe some of you are watching my videos and thinking that that I'm perfect now, or that I'm all better, or because you don't see me crying right this minute that you assume I'm healed. And I want to make sure that you hear me when I say there is no perfect grieving. There is no perfect healing, and we will not be complete or completely healed or done healing. And now there's another airplane, until we die. Like, basically, we are in this lot of grieving women. I think it's the same plane. What is he doing? As grieving women, sorry, see, I'm such a squirrel. I should have written down notes. As grieving women, we are given this lot in life. We didn't have a choice, you know, we didn't ask for it. Who asks for this? We don't ask for this, but it is what we have, right? It's the lot that we've been given. It is our lot in life. This is what we are dealing with. It's our choice to say, okay, well, I'm just going to choose to be miserable. I'm going to choose to just wallow in self-pity and misery and agony and not do what I can to try to have some good days. So I try to be completely honest with y'all all the time and let y'all know, I mean, I'm not perfect. I cry every day. I cry every day. And I have more bad days than good days, truly. However, the good days are getting more. I'm having more good days than I used to have. Does that make sense? Because it's a process, because it's a choice, because I'm doing the work, because I'm choosing not to let perfectionism stop me, if that makes sense. So I say the same things all the time. All the time. This is what I preach all the time. This is like the number one thing that I talk to whenever I'm working with clients too, is like, you've got to start with your beliefs, and having a belief, not even realizing it's a belief that you have. Like, you sometimes have to really dig and find out that that's actually even something you have, a belief that you didn't know you struggled with. Journaling helps that so much. Just writing good things, writing bad things, just everything that's coming to your brain, because the more that you do it, the more that your brain will release, and the more you'll have this discovery of yourself, of where you're stuck, of where you want to work on your progress. So what was I saying? As far as figuring out that there is no perfect, I'm never going to achieve a state of being that equals what I had before my daughter died, right? We know that we can't go back. We can't get back to that. When we lived in that blissful ignorance, right? Blissful ignorance, where we thought life was fine. We thought we had all the answers. We just thought we had stress back then. Right? We just thought we were, struggling to stay organized and stay on top of things. Clueless, completely clueless, right? And so that is the moment when, you come to a head and you realize, okay, if I'm going to make any progress, I'm going to have to give up perfect in every area of my life. I'm going to have to honestly not care how much I weigh. Not care if I could, do as many push-ups as I used to could do. Because that was such an achievement that was important to me before. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting these achievements, because absolutely, I want my jeans to fit comfortably. I want to look good in my jeans. I want to feel good naked with my husband. That's the truth. Like, I still, have these physical goals. But they are seasoned, if you will, because I can't think of a better word, with this recognizing what really matters, right? And the peace and the healing, the connections, the working on those things is what really matters. And so being open to that and letting go of the perfectionism, that is the same plane again. He's like flying in circles. I don't even know. Y'all, I came outside because I thought it would be quiet out here. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so Allison says, it's so much easier to not have to deal and take those steps. I don't have the energy or the willingness to do anything. Even baby steps suck. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But the thing is that is the first step. Because obviously, it is easier to just stay in pain. It is easier. If it was easy to heal, everyone would do it, right? Everyone would do it. Everyone would be perfectly happy and fine. If it was easy, it does take work. So, but the thing is it's okay. If you're not ready, it's okay. And nobody can tell you otherwise. So I think that's another thing too with perfectionism, is we also see what everybody else around us says and what everybody else around us feels and thinks, and their advice, and what we think grief is supposed to look like. And so we have these expectations on ourselves, and that only adds to the stress. That only makes it harder, right? That just makes it worse. So, So my message to you today, I mean, it would be easy for me to just say, just don't worry about it. Like, just stop trying to be perfect. Like, it's just that simple. Well, I mean, it is a simple concept, but it's not easy, right? None of this is easy. I feel like this is one of the things that I feel like I have more faith than those around me who don't understand what it's like to bury a child. Because you think you have faith until it's actually tested. You think you have faith until God doesn't answer the prayer the way you wanted it to be answered, right? There is it just completely slaps you upside the head. It completely just turns your world upside down. And so suddenly you have this clearer perception of everything in life, because we realize life is fragile. We realize time is precious, right? So what I want to leave you with as far as a tip, because I try to give y'all something to actually do with the information I'm giving you, not just me saying, okay, perfection, paralyzes, but to say, think about it, journal on it, sit with it. How do you feel about what I've said? How do you feel? And this is, if you want to, just like Allison, like you saying, like you don't have the energy or the willingness to even try right now, then that's cool. Like, this is not me telling you have to do this. But when you're ready, or when the mood strikes you and you're like, I kind of think I want to explore this a little bit, that's when I suggest that you do it. And like I said, journaling is kind of, to me, it's the easiest way, because once you just get started writing, it just starts to pour out of you. At first, it feels like you can't get anything out, and that's fine, even if it's just a few words. But eventually, like, if you just keep doing it, practicing it, and making it a habit, the words will start coming, the emotions will start coming, and you'll start to be able to work on it. So this is my tip, is as far as being able to work on getting away from these perfectionist tendencies, is to figure out why you feel that way. And so digging into those beliefs. And I've mentioned this before. I have a video way back about limiting beliefs. And when I first started working with my mentor, Tom Zuba, which I've mentioned him before, if you don't know who he is, go find him. He's written 2 amazing books. When I started digging into the beliefs that I had about grief, about death, about my daughter's death, about the circumstances around her death, about me as a parent, when I started opening up to questioning those beliefs, why did I believe that? Why was I continuing to hold on to a painful belief? But being open and willing to transition that painful belief into a peaceful belief, it gave me the ability to start questioning all my beliefs, because I was open to it, to questioning all of my beliefs. So beliefs about everything. So beliefs about, like, my whole life thinking that I was fat when I didn't even weigh 100 pounds, right? Why did I believe that? And what's the truth? Because that wasn't true, but why did I believe it, and what's the truth? Believing I'm not good enough as a wife or as a mom, believing anything. So you think about all of those things, and they are things that cause you to be paralyzed, because these beliefs, they limit you, they keep you from exploring your creativity, from exploring what you could be doing, and I feel like they keep you stuck. So to overcome perfectionism, like, that's the first step, is questioning your beliefs. Why are you stuck there? Why do you believe that? Why do you feel like whatever it is that you're doing or not doing, because you feel like you have to do it perfectly, why? And it takes a lot of work. It doesn't happen just once, and just questioning it once and coming up with an answer doesn't make it all better. You sometimes still have to go over and over and over and over the same questions, and really get your brain to start accepting the new reality, the new truth that you want it to accept, instead of what you've been living with. So Wendy says, I get tired of friends trying to give advice, then being critical of you when you don't do what they think you should do. Amen. Oh, Wendy, girl. Especially friends who have not experienced your grief. I have not had terrible advice from friends who actually have experienced grief. I'm sorry, the mule is literally walking over here. He's right in front of me. I'm going to turn my camera around so y'all can see him before I go. Hey, bud. He came up for hugs and snuggles this morning, and now he's he thinks I might have a snack. Now he's biting my foot. Sorry. Friends who I have known who before me have buried a child. Sorry, guys. I got a phone call because I didn't think of changing my settings. Let's see here. I see that there's a comment down here. I'm seeing all these comments that I didn't see before. Okay, Tara, getting it out. Perfect is only defined by the individual. I know there is not only one. Yes. Challenge yourself a little, push a little bit more. Right. Not to the point where, are you serious? See, I told y'all he was right here in my face. Move. I can't with you right now. Not pushing yourself to the point that you cause yourself more stress, but yes, whenever you're ready to push yourself just a little bit, just the tiniest bit, to do one little thing that gets you towards wanting to heal. So what I was saying to your comment about friends and their advice, I mean, there are times when I want to just say, take your advice and stick it up your nose, because you don't have a clue what you're talking about. The only thing I can tell you, honey, is come here and talk about it here, because this is where we know the truth, and we can talk about the fact that people are going to say things and have expectations of us that we've all, unfortunately, had people say things like this to us. Give us advice about, you know, just do X, Y, Z and you'll feel better. Just get over it. Just whatever. And like I said, if they haven't experienced the grief that you're experiencing, they don't have a clue. So even if they mean well, it's just spoken in ignorance. Really it is. And as a matter of fact, I have to get on it, but because I haven't been working on it for a while, but I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book about all the dumb things people say and how to not say those things to somebody who's grieving. Especially it's related to whenever someone has buried a child. Stop biting me. Oh my word. Can you look? Can I even? There he is. See? Don't bite me. He's kissing. He's giving kisses. He's so lonely. Truly, he's very lonely since our daughter died, because after his horse buddy died, she was his only friend, and she basically stayed outside with him all the time. He followed her around like a puppy, and he's so lonely. And we've been saying for the longest time we're going to get him a buddy, and we just haven't done it yet. And so he's like a giant dog, and he just wants snuggles all the time. And he's standing on the front porch, because this is what we do. I feel guilty when I think about healing. Allison, yes. There's actually, I've talked about guilt, feeling guilty before, and it's tough. It is tough whenever you feel like you're leaving behind your loved one, or you're seriously, it's like you're making it, okay, stop. It's like you're making a choice to walk away from them or move on without them if you try to heal. So I totally get what you're saying. It's learning to recognize that healing doesn't mean forgetting. Does that make sense? Healing does not mean forgetting. Healing means being able to grieve and love and feel better. And you know, people will say, what is it people say? People say your loved one wouldn't want you to be sad, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's baloney. Like, you don't know what my daughter wants for me. You don't get to say what my daughter wants me to feel or how she would want me to act. That's just such a dumb thing to say. People say the dumbest things. And then you feel guilty, right? Because you're like, well, maybe my daughter doesn't want me to be sad. Well, those things are irrelevant. What matters is that you deserve to feel better. We are not created for pain. We are created to be love. We are created to love. We are created to have beautiful, fulfilling lives. And not in spite of the things that we go through, not in spite of the grief. But those are things that shape us and create in us the ability to be more compassionate and to be able to reach out to the next person and say healing things to them and not hurtful things that were said to us. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense a little bit whenever you're talking about feeling guilty. And then Tara says, honestly, they will never experience like you did. Exactly. I mean, I don't want that for anyone. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting bumped around here. I don't want people to understand what it's like. I don't want someone to have to bury their child in order to be able to understand me, right? I want to be able to educate them without them having to experience that pain, because I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But I do wish for compassion. I do wish for somebody just to keep their mouth shut rather than giving me unsolicited advice, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Seriously? This airplane. I can't even. Don't bite me. I'll get you something else later. I'm telling you what. Okay. I feel like I have kept y'all way longer than I meant to. Thank y'all so much for joining me and for your comments. And I hope that everything that we discussed was helpful somewhat. If you haven't already, wherever you're watching this video, you should be able to click on videos on the somewhere close by. Like there's a button where you can see all of my previous videos. So if you are interested in digging back through, there's tons of videos where I've discussed all kinds of things like shifting your limiting beliefs. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head right now because I'm trying not to get bit by this stinking mule, who I love. He's my baby. You see that? He's so sweet. I love him so much. This is the thing. This is what keeps me going, is all of my critters, all of my animals. They are just... I mean, I love my husband, I love my boys, but they don't snuggle me and beg for my attention the way that these critters do. So, and give all the snuggles and belly rubs. So I recommend getting a pet. That's what I recommend. That's my top recommendation. Get a fur baby. Thank you too, Wendy. I hope you have a great day too. Okay, so if y'all like this video, if you're catching it on the replay, comment, let me know if you found this helpful. And I forgot I was going to add, I'll go back and add my link. If you are thinking that you might want to chat with me about possibly working together, I do still have a couple of slots left open for private coaching. And we can chat about where you're stuck and possibly get you unstuck and see if we might be a good fit to work together. And like I said, I'll come back and put the link in so you can find it either in the comments or in the description of the video. I'll do that as soon as I get off of here and get Rusty an apple so that he will be satisfied. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. I love y'all so much. Thanks for joining me. Bye.